This is the plaintiff, Conray Black. He says he worked for the defendant's company setting up appointments, and the guy is out and out stiffing him on his wages. He worked very hard for him in a hectic environment. He thinks the defendant got in way over his head, and he's here suing for every penny of the $400 he earned but wasn't paid. This is the defendant, Fernando Brown. He says the plaintiff couldn't prove he worked for him during the hours he's suing for. The guy worked from home. He didn't keep a journal of appointments booked. The appointments weren't showing up, and he feels he's being scammed on these hours by the plaintiff. Besides, the guy's going around telling people he's a fraud. He posted something on Google, and he thinks he's in the right, so he's not paying up. He's accused of stiffing an employee.
All parties, please use your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn in.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Conroy Black, you're suing Fernando Brown and Tico Express. You're the owner. Mm-hmm. What kind of company is that?
Delivery service, same day and next day.
Okay, for $400 in unpaid wages. According to you, he hasn't proven that he's worked it. Tell me exactly how you two met.
Yes, I met Fernando through Indeed.
Through what?
Indeed.com.
Okay, a website?
Yes.
All right, because you were looking for drivers and you posted it on the website?
Yes.
And your company does what? You've started up this company that delivers within a city.
We do all 5 boroughs, Nassau and Suffolk.
Okay.
And we primarily were going to do pharmaceuticals, but then we ventured into food delivery, and that's what we're staying with right now.
Okay. And so you answered the call to be a driver, but then as it turns out, the two of you discuss it and you decide that you're going to help him in a different capacity.
Yes.
And what capacity were you going to help him in?
At first, it was he had me answer emails. Basically, it was answering emails, and then through Indeed, I would deal with the applicants who applied for the job on Indeed.
How would you deal with them? Meaning what?
I would send them an email through Indeed. Then they would send an email to his email, which I had access to. Then I would put on like the interview times, which was done through this app called Zoom, which is like a video conferencing app, like Skype kind of.
Okay.
And that's how he would get the he would then take it from there to interview the potential employers.
Okay, so the first week you work for him, he ends up paying you. He's supposedly paying you how much by the hour?
We had an agreement for $13 an hour.
Okay, and he was, you weren't withholding anything? You weren't doing payroll? You were just gonna pay him?
I paid him through PayPal.
Yes.
Paying him through PayPal. All right, so I guess you are calling your assistant an independent contractor, and then you paid him $195 through PayPal. You're both happy with that.
Yeah.
Then what happens?
Then about as the other weeks began, he's been doing it from the beginning. He's always blaming me, telling me that, the people that I would schedule many people for these interviews through Zoom, and it's not my fault that some of these people don't want to show up. And like I said in my statement, he's a constant nag. He was being very annoying to me.
How?
He's always blaming me that the people won't come to the meetings. You see?
How else?
He would just say, hey, why are these people not showing up to these meetings? And what is it? And the proof is there. It's all in his emails that I would send out these emails to these people, let them know, hey, you have an interview today. At one point, he kind of is like I was shaking the people down at one point. Like I have to call them back and ask them, hey, why didn't you show up for this meeting? It was just getting a little bit too.
So you quit?
Yeah.
And then you wanted your pay, and you told him, I've worked how many hours?
I don't have the exact hours for the next week, but I do have the hours that I did up until February 27th is the last recorded date that I have that I actually was filling out my time. I was doing it through MacBook Notes.
So you would just write it?
Yeah, I would just write it down, let them know, just write it down, and it shows, when I started.
And then how come you don't have it for the other week?
I kind of got a little bit
lazy?
Yeah, you could say lazy.
Yeah, that's the word. All right, so let me see what you have in notes for that first week. While he's looking for that, why won't you pay him for the other 2 weeks?
Because the document he's telling you about, this is the first time I'm ever hearing about it.
Okay.
I never knew about it.
Well, how would you know? What was his job?
His job was to be an administrative assistant, so he would help me answering phone calls.
But would he go to your place of business? Did you have a place of business?
I work from home.
Okay. So the first 2 weeks, did he work in your home?
He came to my house when we had a meeting with T-Mobile, and I gave him a phone then, and then I was going over some things that I wanted him to do.
So he always worked on his own.
That was his
place.
job. Everything.
That was his job.
Yeah.
So how were you ever going to know how many hours somebody worked?
So in Google Keep, like I tell all my people that work for me, if you're doing something, put it in Google Keep and share the note with me, and then I'm going to review it.
That just means tell you.
Exactly. And he wasn't telling me what he was doing. And
did he tell you the first 2 weeks what he was doing?
The first 2 weeks, I wasn't doing a route. The second 2 weeks, I was doing a route in Manhattan, and I was training some people at the same time. And the times that he was saying that I was nagging him is because on the ride to work, I was doing video conferencing.
While you're driving?
While I'm driving, I'll pull over.
I don't think you pulled over.
Well, either or. I had an iPhone, and I could still talk to people, so it wasn't like...
Yeah, no, that's really dangerous.
Well, it's...
No. It's really dangerous.
I got you.
Period. Nothing else. You're not that important. It's dangerous. I'm driving I'm in the lane next to you, and you're going to miss something in traffic because you're conducting a video interview inside of your car. You're out of your mind. Don't do that.
In my defense?
No, there is no defense to that. So just move on to the next topic.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, if you work for somebody and you do a crappy job, can they withhold part of your wages?
No, I don't think so.
Why?
That's your wage. You're not allowed to cut back on that.
Yet you were supposed to do a good job and you didn't.
Well, but it's a contract that you've made with your employer.
But you could argue that you breached the contract by not doing the job right.
True, but they did make that agreement with the risk, knowing that you would potentially
You
do
could
it.
be crappy
Exactly.
at the job.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, going inside the courtroom.
So as I was going to do my route, I would have people that would not show up, and it would be recorded, and I would say, why is nobody showing up?
Yeah, but how is that his fault?
Because he's the one that scheduled the appointment.
What? So what? I don't understand. What do you think he did wrong? Because it sounds like the method that you guys have, you can see how he informed somebody of the time. And how there's emails. It's your email that he wrote them from. So you can see exactly what he did. If people don't show up, it's because they're not good candidates and they're just not showing up.
So if he's sending a response on Indeed, I'm not going to see it unless I sign in to Indeed.
Well, why don't you sign in? Did you ever sign in to find out that he didn't do his job?
If he did the work, all he had to do is provide the proof. That's it.
All you have to do is log into Indeed to see the proof.
I'm not going to double check your work. If I hire you to do a job, I'm not double checking your work.
How did you know that you had to answer a phone while you're driving and that you have appointments? He must have told you about the appointments.
No, because I put preset dates. It doesn't matter what day it was. Every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, it was supposed to be certain people that's supposed to do an interview at 8. So it's always going to be there. It's always going to be open. The whole thing was he's supposed to let me know who's going to be there. So if you and 4 other people are supposed to be there, I'm supposed to know who's supposed to be there. So I know.
How are you supposed to know?
He's supposed to let me know.
How? Through what mechanism?
He could let me know by putting it on my Google Calendar. He could let me know by
Did you have no appointments on your Google Calendar?
Ma'am, I have...
No, listen to my question. Did you have any appointments set by him on your Google Calendar?
Did I have appointments set by him? No.
Okay. How did you set his appointments? Through what mechanism?
Just by calling him, and he knows, because every morning I would get up about 4 o'clock, because what I would do is I'm in school, as a matter of fact. I would get up about 4 o'clock in the morning, handle his business, then do my schoolwork and get ready for the meetings at 8 o'clock in the morning while he's still asleep. And he's laughing. Do you know how many times he was late to his own meetings?
You felt he was pretty unprofessional.
Well, yeah, he was. I mean, I told my father, I had to laugh. I had to put the thing on because it's normally open so he could hear me talking. I had to put it on mute and laugh when he was driving.
So why didn't you just quit?
Hold on. So he
did quit.
So
he quit after I started giving him work.
And so go on.
Yeah, he's smoking and doing the interviews, and he thinks that's my fault for these people not coming on. He's not explaining it. He's not explaining the criteria even to its full effect. That's not my fault, man. That's his fault.
So do you have phone records to show the communication between you two during those weeks?
I have phone records, but not from the first week. Just
no, not the first 2 weeks. The second 2 weeks that will show me how verbal this thing was and how many times you were calling him and all that. Do you have phone records?
No, I don't have that.
It's over 30 lines, so I had to find his number in here.
Okay.
But I have all the phone records between me and him.
Did you highlight it?
No, because I have his old phone. So you could check to see his call history.
Could definitely check that, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you do me a favor? Can you hand him this highlighter? And can you, highlight his number there while I keep asking the questions? Thank you. So How are you coming up with the $400?
I mean, it's going to be an estimate. I can't tell you. I can't tell you.
But that's a problem because you want a specific figure, and
Yeah.
when you work for someone and you want a specific figure, there needs to be specificity.
Yes.
You've already admitted to me that you don't have any notes for the second week.
I
Do
do.
you have anything else to prove up how much you worked on the other week? I have February 19, 20. These are daily logs.
Yes.
And you don't figure out the times before you walk into court, but you figured out the figure because you pulled it out of thin air.
But I mean, after that, it was basically, I say I work no more than 5 hours a day.
Well, you're kind of really in the dark for someone who is supposed to keep track of their hours. I understand his frustration. What did you want to show me?
This is the month of February into March. It shows that.
How much did you agree to pay him an hour?
I agreed to do $13 an hour, minimum 4 hours per day.
So he had a
maximum 4 hours per day.
Maximum 4 hours.
Yeah, it's only part-time.
So these are all the calls that he would have made.
Yeah.
So I don't see where you come off not paying him. I just, I don't know how you expect a judge to figure out what you're appropriately owed. Do you have the phone records for the weeks before?
No, that's the first time we had the phones. So
Okay.
that's the first bill.
Okay. So I'm going to estimate based on what I am seeing here from the incoming and the outgoing phone calls during the period of time that we're talking about. And I'm going to order the defendant to pay you wages that are a complete guess on my part because that's how you have left it.
That's fine.
Of $300 verdict
Okay.
for the plaintiff.
Thank
Good
you.
luck to you,
Do
okay?
I get to say anything else, y'all?
No, you don't.
Oh, okay. That was fun. Oop. That's why I have people working for me, and you don't.
Yeah, I never will.
Yeah.
Mr. Brown, want to talk?
No.
Okay. The plaintiff, the defendant does not want to talk. The plaintiff is on his way out of the courtroom. He was suing for, as you know, $400. He got $300. So how do you feel about the outcome?
I'm happy. I'm happy I got something. He's a crook, and he'll never, until he changes his ways, he will never succeed. And it's sad that a black man has to be like that, but until he changes his ways, he will never be. He's a disgusting person, and he got what he deserves. And I hope that anybody that applies for his job will see this when it airs and will know who Fernando A. Brown really is.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, you got your opinion out there.
And
okay.
I watch you almost every day, you and Miss Judgment. My dad is a huge fan of you.
Well, thank you very much. All right. Thank you, sir. Well, what do you think about that, Harvey?
Okay, Doug, well, look, there's something called the Labor Commission in a lot of states where you can actually file a complaint with a boss that doesn't pay your wages, and they might be able to put pressure on the boss short of going to court where you can get your money. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.